Yeah.
Oh, never mind. We're live.
Yeah, exactly. DaSean, see, this is how it works. And we're all here again, the Amigos. And Jonny, you had a point. We've been talking for like 3 or 4 minutes. We should have been recording that, correct?
Yeah, I mean that's us in our natural state. That's the pudding right there. That's the Gouda.
Exactly.
Gouda.
Exactly. Yeah, tell people who Gouda is.
Well, it ain't a person. Gouda is cheese. It's money. You know what I'm saying? It's another way of talking about money. You know what I'm saying? You say Gouda, we all know what you're talking about. We're talking about getting that money.
Right, but on Instagram, I got a friend request.
Oh, who that is? Oh, well, you know, it's C500 KT Gouda. You know what I'm saying? Let's be direct. You know, so that would be me in my other business sense.
Right, and that's it. People know you as a coach, as a trainer. If you got to jump out of this call quickly, you're making a trade. What's going on?
Yeah, I'm in the middle of trading some currency, so you know I got a couple trades that are active. I already moved one of them into. I moved my stop loss, so I ain't gonna take a hit there. I'm definitely gonna cash out on that one, so I'm good. My other one though, it's just floating around. It's dancing, so I might have to check on that one.
Right. Okay. No. We can talk about so much, and we'll just keep it free flowing. I mean, the Amigos? Maybe we take it back even further. You know, you guys formed. What about the name Atari Callan? Maybe start with Tucker, Jonny. When I say that name, what does that mean to you?
Well, I saw Atari. I think one of the first times I saw Atari was on the baseball field in Oakland, Babe Ruth, and without question, one of the fastest dudes on a baseball field that I'd ever seen. I'm talking hitting routine balls in the infield right at people and beating them out. And then I saw him play for Alhambra. Martinez. Martinez Pop Warner against my brother's team. I remember it was like pouring down rain. I think Benji was in the 8th grade. I was in the 6th. And this dude was running through everyone. And it was just the fastest dude that I'd ever seen at the time. But before him, dude, his brother Leon, like the Callens, fast family. You know, I think their parents were both track athletes previous. So, you know, I got an opportunity to see the whole bloodline just dominate.
And I see you smiling there, DaSean. You must have some memories.
Yeah, a little bit. My was it our freshman year? He's a senior. I remember him from football. One of my first games when I watched the De La Salle, I think I was maybe 7th grade, 6th grade. See them run around, killing. At the time, I didn't know so much who he was, but he's just a dominant athlete. And also I remember from track. I ran track. He ran track, and then those guys are just, I mean, he's a specimen. He's speed, pure speed.
Right.
One guy to watch. Man.
And Nate, I remember, I think you were saying you were on JV and you stopped showering because Atari was returning kickoffs and you wanted to get there and see it? Or am I making up stories?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if that was exact, but I know after our I was just a freshman. My first encounter with even meeting or knowing the two Atari was there was a game on TV, because you remember the games used to be shown locally, like a couple of De La Salle games. So I was watching a local game on TV, and they were playing against Nevada Union his junior year. That was when I was in 8th grade, and I saw him hit that stop and go and a reverse spin on 2 different touchdowns he had. And I was like, man, that dude is real. Obviously, there was DJ Williams as a sophomore that looked like he was grown as hell, but yeah, Atari definitely had an impression. But, you know, me coming in as a freshman, like I said, I never seen any of them. So I actually walked up to Atari, I think the first day of school or orientation or something like that. And I was like, hey, you DJ Williams? And Atari was like, I'm Atari Callan. You better ask about me. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, oh, okay, my bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, he took it heck of personal, which I get it. You know what I'm saying? He took it personal that I actually was DJ. Because I didn't know, like I said, I mean, Atari, even though he was a small dude as a freshman, he looked big to me. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, yeah. But that was my first encounter with him. And then, yeah, our first game, my freshman year, we were on JV playing up at Nevada Union, and he ran back the opening kick. And I think we were just coming out of the locker room and got a chance to catch like the end of it. Like we didn't see it from when he received it. But yeah, you know, Atari was, I mean, I still say if he had went straight from high school as a running back, he'd have made it to the league.
Right. And then what about the backfield of Atari and DJ? I mean, that was legendary. I mean, I guess Nate or somebody. Go ahead.
Arguably the best that at least in my time that I've seen, and that I kind of like know about as far as two guys in the backfield. I mean, like I said, you're talking about two NFL caliber guys that are talented with the ball in their hands, in the backfield. So.
Yeah, and with just a little bit of enough misdirection to always keep the defense on their heels. Like, good luck.
Right.
Yeah.
And another thing we talked about DJ on the last episode. I got a text, and I asked him. I said the Amigos were formed to tackle you at practice, and he says they were unsuccessful. So, so do we need to get him in here? What's the true story?
Hey, DJ's got like 19,000 followers. He's got a reputation to uphold. I imagine he ain't gonna never admit that to us, but he knows.
Exactly. But can we get him in here to ask him this?
That's up to you. It's
All
up
right.
to you to get him in here.
Okay,
get him in here.
I'll invite him. And so he's not scared to come in?
It'll be 3 against 1 again.
He wouldn't be scared to come in. I don't think he'd be scared to come in. But shit, hey, time is money. He might tell you he need a couple dollars.
Well, it would be up to you, Aguda, to pay him.
Nah. He got to pay me. He got more money than me, so.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm thinking also just maybe this. We talked about maybe another guy we can get in here is Ladd. Well, what are some stories you can tell about him? Because he's a big proponent of the Amigos.
Yeah, go. This one, Jonny can start.
Well, Ladd was a figure for me that it took me a while to finally get used to him and understand his personality and just understand his approach and understand like his energy level and like he's always a guy that says not enough words and like keeps you draws you in. And so I just remember my senior year, we started to really develop a relationship. I kind of started coming into my own, probably, being more of a leader and kind of building a stronger relationship with him. And I started joking with him. I'd always come around like, hey, can I spat with this color, this, that, and the other. And so, just started getting more and more comfortable. And then he started, joking with me, which, he's not really a joking person. So I remember one time in particular, and that was one of the hardest things with our team, just getting everybody love and getting everybody fed and getting everybody the right touches. As both of these dudes will speak to, whether or not we were juniors or seniors, we played one half of football. If we weren't starting, we were playing on the second half of football. We were the starters. We were the first half. So with that being said, we're always trying to look the ball. And I just remember one practice, Ladd comes up in my ear and he goes, Jonny, we like the matchups that we got this week. We're going to feature you. And I'm like, oh, okay, give me the rock. And I'm like, get all the stand up straight, all like, okay. And then not but 15 seconds later, I look up and he's in Demetrius Williams here. He goes, Demetrius, we've seen the film this week. We're gonna feature you. And I just jump up and just yell like, what? And he just starts cracking up. That's like his all-time favorite story because he knew that he was gonna get my level up and he knew he was just gonna play a little joke on me. So it was funny.
Very cool. DaSean, go ahead.
For me, you see the Last Dance documentary, and they talk about Michael Jordan's aura, and then not to necessarily compare these two, but Coach Ladd had that same aura about him. He didn't yell. He had this kind of menacing look. You didn't know a whole lot about him. You've heard a lot of things about him, but know a whole lot about him. And when I started on varsity, it's kind of like intimidating. You want to perform. You see this guy that has this reputation to be a great coach, a motivator, a speaker. He didn't talk a whole lot. In terms of, I was a defensive guy and he's on offense, but when he spoke, he had everybody's attention. He always had something meaningful. I believe he was like a theology major, and you could tell by the way his presence, the way he spoke. And then, great motivator. Like I said, he didn't yell. Coach Edson was a guy that's always in my ear yelling, getting on me hard. But he just, when he spoke, it was always something powerful. And it's like, constructive criticism. Didn't really put anybody down. He's just get the most out of you. And then, it's just a hell of a person to be around.
Yeah, I think Nate's making a trade, so he might miss his spot here.
No,
but maybe I can follow up.
Just give me 1 second, mama.
Okay, no, I'll just complete your trade. I'll ask DaSean. You mentioned Edson. What are your memories of Cobra?
Oh, I love Cobra. Cobra's the man. Even freshman year, I had him for religious studies. And then, I mean, great guy, talked about with everything. Football, just screaming his head off. I don't know how he didn't have a heart attack out there on the field, but just always screaming, yelling, defense, special teams. I mean, coached me hard, and I respected that. I mean, every day he's getting on me for something, trying to clean up my game. Believed in me. I mean, there's not enough I can say about him. There's obviously Cobra. Hope that's still going.
Maybe Jonny, what's your memories of Edson?
I remember the Edson, same thing. You know, I obviously had those experiences with my brothers, seeing them go through the program and him getting on my brothers and calling them muffin heads, and my brothers coming home from, you know, workouts, trying to get playing time, constantly competing with D1 NFL athletes. You know what I mean? So I have years and years of watching, you know, going through it myself, and then watching my brothers go through it and compete and get opportunities and miss practice and get in trouble and dealing with school and, you know, all the different distractions that come with, you know, being an adolescent and trying to grow up. So it's like, now that I'm a coach, now that I'm mentoring and like, it's hard to rope in personality. It's hard to create, you know, that type of belief system and unwavering. And doesn't matter who comes into the program. You know, our program, whatever our program's going to be. And we saw a lot of athletes come through the program and get pushed out. And we saw a lot of athletes come into our program and get changed. So if you really believe in your culture, you're not going to be able to save everyone, but you do have the opportunity to turn some apples to ripen.
Yeah, and you mentioned something interesting. At De La Salle, far more people transfer out than transfer in. I mean, and then also, yeah, at the time, you probably didn't like Edson, or I would think. I mean, he was tough. And now, what's your opinion of him?
Love-hate relationship. I'm sure we could all say that. You know, there's most of the time when you have someone who's growing you, like, there's always going to be that love and hate. Like, man, why is he making me uncomfortable? Why is he doing this? And then you see a lighter side. It's like, oh shit, I did well, and he put me in a position to be successful. So there's always that trade-off and that balance between that. And I think he toes the line, and some people can't take it, and some people, you know, like it. So it's not for everybody.
Right. And Nate, you have a unique perspective. You played for him, and now you coach with him.
Yeah, for
Both
sure.
guys.
Yeah, and I think, like you said, it's a similar basis. I mean, you know, with Coach Edson, for me, like DaSean said, I got a lot of respect for Coach Edson. Well, when I was playing for Coach Edson, he was probably the most annoying coach on the staff to me by far. And because, you know, like Jonny said, he was probably the most vocal. Like, he said what all the other coaches might be thinking. You know, he definitely vocalized how he felt. And sometimes he was inaccurate in what he was saying, and that probably irritated us. And, you know, sometimes he knew how to push our buttons, and he was just pushing our buttons just because he thought it was funny. You know, like, now being with him on a coaching staff, I see how he maneuvers and what he does. And, you know, I find it just as funny as he does now. But then I be thinking back when I was in that position, I'm like, shit was not funny. You know what I'm saying? Like, but now it's like, okay, that's funny now, because I'm on the other side of it, and I kind of get that perspective. But when you really, like I said, as a young kid, I was like kind of on the brinks of like, man, this dude's irritating. I can't wait to get up out of here. You know, da 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 da. You know, but then, you know, when I got to college, I missed a coach being honest with me. You know what I'm saying? I missed a coach like caring enough to, like I said, and Coach Edson ain't the all lovey-dovey type, but he for sure care about us. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he has a different way of showing that he cares about us. And, you know, like Jonny said, it's not for everybody. And in high school, I'm not, like I said, I was cool with Coach Edson. I had a good relationship with him. We talked in film, you know, especially my senior year. I became really cool with him and Coach Lab my senior year. You know, and you know, it kind of went from my junior year, my sophomore year, like, man, I don't really want to see this dude today, to my senior year. By at least the middle of my senior year, I would say, I was like, all right, I could deal with him, you know, more along those lines. And then, like I said, as I got older, it was more of an appreciation, because I understood that he was only on me like he was because he saw something in me that I didn't even see in myself at the time. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's kind of where it left off. And then, you know, now being on the side of coaching with them, like, I have nothing but the highest regard, respect for him. And the man he's been his whole life, like the way Coach Edson approaches life as a man, like it's not everybody can be that stand up of a person on a day in, day out basis and not waver, because, I mean, he's true to what he's into, certain stuff he doesn't agree with, and he stands strong to his values and what he agrees with. And, and I respect that, like it may be different from stuff that I, feel certain times, but I always respect, like I said, the type of person he's remained. And, he's the same. He's the same dude he was from when I met him until today. He's getting a little older, so he's a little bit softer, but, he's still not afraid to speak his mind.
Yeah. No, say no more. As good as a coach he is, he's a better person. And now
Yeah,
I'm going to test the capabilities of Zoom. I'm going to attempt to show a photo here. Hold on a second.
All right, you smart enough. You can do this.
Let's see. Can
Yep,
you see it?
There you go.
And so, yeah, I recognize a lot of people here. I mean, Nate, you're in front there. DaSean, are you behind him?
Yeah, I'm in the back with my arms up, very back.
Way back.
Don't
group
play.
right there.
He said he tried to say it was Mark Thomas.
Okay, so it's easy. The Amigos all have bandanas. And so, yeah, so you're right behind Jonny, and then Kevin Simon's in the back.
That's funny you said it. I never even noticed that it was just us three that had on the bandana look.
Right. And then,
Then Mooney got on the beanie.
Is it Jake next to the trophy?
Yep.
Yeah, it's Jay Wall Street.
And then we got, see, I've known Jake. Of course he's Wall Street. He's Mr. Business. Mm-hmm. And then we got Damon Jenkins. Well, I should let you guys talk. When you see this at DBC, what are your memories?
That was after the championship game.
Champions, yeah.
Victorious.
That's pretty much that's the core right there. Me,
And
Jonny,
then
Nate, Reese came in next, Damon, Laja, Jake Wall Street, K. Syme, and then you see Adam Polk and Landry try to sneak in a picture. They got a little photo bomb in there. It's cool. At the Mohawks. That was fun. And also, I was actually the first guy to wear a headband in the program, so I'll give myself a credit.
I don't know, bro.
Headband, I think I was the first to wear that.
I was wearing it in the game like Dion around the neck, though.
Y'all got the
skinny ones. Y'all got the skinny ones on. I got the thick one. I was wearing the thick one back in like elementary school.
So in case the audience didn't know, our swag was a major part of what we did. Like, we calling each other before the night. DaSean like, hey, man, bro, you got that color wristbands, blah, 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 blah. Like, I used to put Vaseline on my body, oil up, clean. Like, I mean, that was just as big a part of my preparation as anything else. Now, not to say that it was more important for me to look good and to watch film, but I made sure that I checked all of those things before I went into that game, because I had to feel the right way. I had to know that I was prepared. I had to be confident. I mean, as DaSean will tell you, Nate will tell you, we were out there, we were in shape, but we were undersized. I don't care how you slice it. I played varsity as a senior at 150, as a junior at 138. So for me to step on that field and have that real confidence to not care, I always had to be that, and I always had to believe that, and I always had to hype myself up. And sometimes to a fault, but not this time.
Right, and so that's interesting. I noticed the headbands, so that wasn't an accident that the three guys that had the headbands were the Amigos. So there was a phone call the night before the game?
Probably not, but we just used to feed off each other. I see Nate do some, and then I go add some. DaSean brings some, and then I ask, whatever, and we just feeding off each other. Hey, how you coming this week? I got a green chin strap. Oh, what mouthpiece? And that was, and I'm sure it happens like that to some.
And those things are unheard of at the time too. I'm sure all these guys are doing it now, but we had the off-color bib mouthpieces. No one ever did that. Always came.
We used to go to sports for all.
With the socks rolled down, with the legs.
Vaseline
up,
talk about.
Bright lights,
what do you guys got on your legs?
Yeah.
You guys are gonna crap up. Why you have Vaseline on?
What was the Vaseline?
So
it was under the bright lights. It looked good.
Yeah.
So you guys were like wrestlers? You just wanted to look good? You're like the WWF?
It's kind of like that Deion Sanders preparation. You look good, you play good. I mean, we had tons of people in the stands. We wanted to put on a performance for everybody. We wanted to look great out there and ball out.
Right.
We were number one in the country, man. At the end of the day, this is entertainment, and we were there to entertain,
right,
and kill at the same time. And I mean, that's really what we were about. We were prepared. We were educated. We were cocky. We wanted the ball. Like, the head and the heart were in the right place for us,
Right.
at the time, right?
And maybe mention, because it was like 3 years in a row with San Leandro at DVC. They were good. I mean, the quarterback, Dennis Dixon, Gerard Page. I mean, how good were those guys? I mean, they were second best for like 3 years in a row. Johnny smiles. They weren't that good.
A distant second best. I mean, no disrespect to them, but like we prepared more than anyone else, especially locally. We were, I think, more bonded and more of a unit, and we weren't the typical of what everybody assumed De La Salle was. Like back in those days, like everybody was assuming, oh, y'all Catholic school kids, y'all suckers. To Coach Essen and Coach Ladd didn't really care for us to be quote unquote thugs on the field. And we didn't think we were thugs, but we also wasn't no punks. So people were surprised a lot of times, I think, of how much mess we talked on the field and backed it up. You know what I'm saying? Like being De La Salle, like, because we talked a lot, but we didn't get caught. We wasn't done with it. Like we knew how to talk mess. We knew how to act up. We knew how to do what we do and not get caught, and not put ourselves in a position where we're getting cussed out all the time either, So, I mean, to me, what stands out in one of those games is it was a kickoff return, and we did an onside kick, and we recovered it, and their dudes kind of ran up, and you see about 5, 6 dudes from our sideline run on the field right next to the dude who they kind of ran up on, and you didn't see nothing, no pushing, no nothing, but you see the dude turn around and walk away, and then that was kind of like us knowing we played San Leandro, they were going to try to intimidate us, and when they figured out that didn't work, it was game time. Plus, Dennis Dixon threw us 15 picks in 3 years.
Yeah, we got 6 my senior year.
How did he keep that scholarship?
It was
Stop playing us.
Didn't watch, yeah, they didn't watch that. The coaches probably said, "Oh, we're not going to watch the De La Salle film."
Right. Yeah. So
he had a great career, though. He was a good player.
No. Of the three of you, he played for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, of the three of you, who talked the most? Is it
probably Jonny?
Yeah, Jonny for sure.
Probably Jonny.
Yeah, I used to get after. I remember playing San Leandro. I mean, they came out, rugged, talking mess our senior year, and at the time, Madden is a big game, and if you playing video games against one of your friends or teammates, you go down by 21 points, the game is cooked. Like if you scored 0 and your opponent scored 21, game's over. Put the controller down. We went up on them cats 28-0, and I started yelling at their whole team, put the controller down. I said the game is cooked. And I'm just yelling at all of them. And I'm looking up at all of them. They all bigger than me. I know I have my goons behind me, of course. But I don't know, man. It was just something in me. I remember playing Pittsburgh. I'm yelling at their sidelines. I'm yelling at their coaches. Like, I don't know. That was a fuel for me.
Right. And I'm trying to think, what about the field there at DVC, the AstroTurf? I mean, that was a rough field. Yeah, Nate's shaking his head. I mean, that's all we had. But, I mean, that field was rough, correct?
Yeah, but back in the day, you don't get to play on turf very often. So we got out there. It's kind of fun to play out there. I mean, the footing's different, obviously, than grass. You cut a little better. Obviously,
you got to wear some shoes.
I know they don't want to get tackled on the turf because that concrete underneath. But I always thought it was fun playing on turf. Just you never got a chance very often.
I'm trying to think, if we keep this going, we mentioned DJ, we mentioned Ladd. Who else do we need to bring into the fold here?
Bring in Nasty Reese, Sloppy Reese. We'll tell you how he got started from the sophomore year. His progression.
He should be the first one then, since he was the first Amigo put down.
Okay.
And before you bring anyone in, it got to be Reese.
Yeah, well, maybe next Tuesday or whenever. I think we'll look at his.
And then too, stuff. Like you see, his personality feed right into the group too. So it was perfect.
Okay.
As a sophomore, he wasn't the same dude he is now, though. Let's keep that 100.
Right.
He was a lot quieter, more reserved, still finding his footing. But shit, by mid-year, he was turning into the Reese Shaw now.
Right. Yeah, but you knew him as the sophomore. Yeah. Did you guys think he'd be as good as he became?
I mean, no.
I thought he was going to be. I thought he was going to be good, but yeah, to say he was going to be an All-Pro NFL player, like
top 10 of the
mean,
rushing. I think he's number 9 on the all-time rushing list. Like, it's hard to have that crystal ball. But you also have to think, like, he's like a year or two younger than us. He's like our little brother. Like, you don't even, you know what I mean? Not that you're saying that he can't do it. It's just hard to imagine.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Anything else before we wrap up? I'll reach out to him. That would be a blast. We'll be like the Brady Bunch. We'll keep on adding a different square here. And no, it's just fun. And
the more amigos you bring in, the funner these conversations will get. I guarantee you.
Well, no, and you said, Nate, we're on. This could be a Hollywood movie. I mean,
Man, straight up.
I mean,
it could at least be a show.
Exactly.
All them dating shows and stuff. This could be a show for sure.
At least a mini series. Yeah, at least give me 6 episodes.
Right. Well, it's ongoing. Well, we have a pact to keep it ongoing as long as the pandemic's on. So I mean, we'll just keep going. Add more squares. More people will watch. Yeah, we're better than the Tiger King. I mean, people are watching a lot of crap on TV.
Hey man, you should start what do you call it? DLS 1 30 for 30 series right now.
Well, I think that's what we're doing, and
yeah,
it's neat. Well,
you got to patent that thing though.
What is DJ Star-Lord?
Oh, DG Star-Lord.
Yes.
First 2 initials and then Star-Lord from Marvel.
Okay,
big
that's
Marvel
it.
guy, big Marvel nerd. So
right.
Yeah, name's usually attached to something with that.
Exactly, because when I became your friend, it was like, my God, this guy's lording over the whole galaxy. We got to have this guy in here. So we just have so much fun doing this, and that's what we'll do. We'll just keep adding more people. Well, as we wrap up today, I'll give each of you the final something to say.
Go ahead, D.
Me, man, I'm still waking up. I just got up a little while ago. I actually worked last night. Got off at 4 a.m, set my alarm, had to snooze it a couple of times. Like, all right, let's get ready to go.
Yeah.
Got a little coffee in hand. But, I mean, man, these are fun. So got up for it, got my little coffee, talking sports, life with the guys. I could do this all day.
No, and you're modest. I mean, you're working for the Oakland Police all night. I mean, tell people, for you to wake up to do this, you have to want to do this. It's fun.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's not something I do all the time. I'm actually see the kids on Zoom, obviously right now, but like I didn't even have a Zoom, so just this interaction is different. Obviously, it's not face to face, but this is a good time.
Right. Okay.
Stay busy. Find something you're not good at. Keep working at it. That's what I'm trying to do. Mine is patience. My children.
Wisdom from Jonny.
And gray hairs.
Yeah. I mean, for me, similar stuff. It's, all about, I thrive. My whole life has been predicated on, competition. So every day I find something to compete with somebody or something. Whether it's my kids, whether it's, my wife, whether it's, someone else is, find what you love to do and do it. Like I said, for me, I love to compete, bottom line. So like I said, I find a way to compete every day. Whether it's me racing somebody in the car and they don't even know it, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, I'm competing.
Yeah, no, that's how you roll. And also, Nate, you've helped me with a street lingo. Ask me how I'm doing.
How you doing?
Straight chilling.
Straight chilling. There we go.
All right,
man. You're a great learner.
Exactly. Let me hit stop here, and I'll talk to you briefly. Hold on a second.